on.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Hutchinson City Council meeting for Tuesday, January 27th, 2026. We'll call the meeting to order. Approve the council agenda. Any agenda additions or corrections?
Mayor and Council, I have one addition for you. You can put it under new business, number 13.5. It's a PO approval for Creekside. There's a handout on your desk tonight regarding that.
Motion approved. I'll second.
Motion by Dave, second by Tim to approve the agenda with the addition. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carries. Invocation.
I don't have anybody.
We'll have this a moment of silence, please. Next is Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Recognitions of gifts, donations, and community service to the city. Does anybody have anything tonight? All right, moving on. Public comment. Citizens addressing the council, just please come forward and state your name and address for the record. And this is the time if anybody wants to address the council, please come forward.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hello, my name is Luke Radke. I live at 445 School Road Northwest. I am scared for the residents of this city. They're due to the unlawful killings of Renee Good and Alex Prevery. They, over the past month, Immigration and Customs Enforcement has been harassing the residents of this city and of this state. I'm calling on this council to provide action and help to the residents of the city. Many residents are afraid to leave their homes. Children are afraid to go to school. I do not know what this council can and cannot do. But I have a suggestion of a ballot measure requiring all city and state and federal employees to be unmasked and to identify themselves when presenting themselves on any official business. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, moving forward. Approval of minutes. We have the regular meeting minutes of January 13th, 2026.
Motion to approve.
Second. Motion by Tim, second by Dave to approve as presented. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both say nay. Motion carries. Consent agenda. This will be with one motion unless somebody pulls something off for discussion. A is appointing Katie May to the Public Arts Commission to August of 2028. Nicole Ng to the Hutchinson Housing Redevelopment Authority Board to August of 2028. B is approval of issuing short-term gambling license to the Hutchinson FFA alumni on March 21st, 2026 at the McLeod County Fairgrounds. C is approval of issuing short-term gambling license to the Hutchinson Rotary Foundation on April 18th, 2026 at the Crow River Golf Club. D is approval of the 2026 City of Hutchinson Pay Equality Report. E is approval of energy management agreement with Energy Management Solutions. F is approval of cross easement agreement with Castle Holdings LLC. G is approval of purchasing 1-ton pickup for street department. H is approval of resolution number 15979, resolution authorizing disposal of surplus street department property. I is consideration for approval of items for Franklin Site Improvement Project Phase 2, letting number 4, project number 26-04. We have two resolutions underneath there. First one is resolution number 15981, resolution ordering preparation of report on improvements, and resolution number 15982, resolution receiving reports and calling for hearings on improvements. And J is claims, appropriations, and contract payments. Is there anything anybody wants pulled off for discussion?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion by Chad, second by Pat to approve the consent agenda as presented. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carries. Going down, Public Arts Commission 2026-2027 sculpture stroll.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Included in your packet this evening is the final 2026 Hutchinson Sculpture Stroll slate for this year. The Public Arts Commission met on Wednesday, January 7th to review. We received 47 submissions from 25 artists, which was a really good turnout for this year's stroll. Pat May and Justin Beck, who is in the audience this evening, were a part of the commission that picked these sculptures. So I was unable to attend, so if you have questions, I will defer to them. But these are the ones that were chosen for our 11 rotating pieces around Hutchinson. The current sculptures will be uninstalled in April, and then the new ones will be installed in May, and they'll be highlighted within Hutchinson. And then along with the 11 rotating pieces that we selected, Citizens Bank and Ridgewater College also selected 2 pieces on their private pads that will also be showcased this year. So here are these ones, and then I do have a little bit just kind of closer up view. No action is needed this evening, but just wanted to show you what was selected and then what will be showcased around Hutchinson. Is there any questions?
No really big sharks this year?
A big bear.
Big bear.
Okay.
Shark, but a bear.
Sure.
So some really unique pieces, great submissions.
That one's huge. That's like a 6-foot ladder.
This one is a very large
So you have
dragonfly.
background, so that's a. We think it's a 6-foot ladder.
Yeah, it's very large. Yes. There's again the locations in which they will be presented. Any questions?
How long does a guy gotta stand by the deal?
The whole year. He comes with, actually.
It's actually part
He's
of
a
the
part of,
statute.
yeah. You actually should ask that clarifying question. Okay.
I'm assuming once the weather gets nice, that's when that rotation will.
Yeah.
switch out.
April, May. So they've all been confirmed. All the artists know that they have been selected and they've been confirmed. And then I'll just put a little plug in. We are looking for one more member of the Public Arts Commission. There's an opening. And then there will be some big shoes to fill when Justin Beck is off the commission, which will happen in August. So we'll need 2 members. So if anyone's interested in being a part of the Public Arts Commission, Pat and myself sit on it. It's a pretty good commission. It's not a very big commitment. We meet quarterly for an hour, and then we pick the actual sculpture stroll items once a year. That's all I have. Thank you.
Say,
Thank
Lynn, one quick question. Is there any more murals going up? Do you know?
Not that I'm aware of.
That was more of a chamber deal, so we it came through the public arts, but we didn't even rubber stamp it, that was more their deal, so I don't know what Valerie's plans are.
It was more
Haven't
just
heard.
for your information for the Public Arts
Yeah.
Commission, but yeah, I haven't heard. Have you heard? Yeah. Not at this time.
Okay,
If we hear anything, we'll let you know.
One quick, are any of these artists local?
John Camrath.
Okay, just
Oh,
kind of neat to know,
Yeah.
showcasing local art.
we've had Deb, her maiden name was Knutson, has had some in years past.
Camera still here?
I don't know if we may have spoke out of turn.
His role is not the John Camrath of Hutchinson. He is
Oh,
located in the city. He just happens to have the same name.
it's a little embarrassing, I just thought.
That's right.
I was
No.
confused for a moment.
I
I think
took
we've
it
all
for
asked
granted
that
it was,
question
yes.
previously, yes.
That being said, didn't the John Camrath from Hutchinson do the soldier in
Yes.
Veterans Party?
That one he did,
I guess
yes.
maybe that's where I
Yeah.
thought.
yeah, he did do that.
That's funny.
Great question though.
Chad. See what Chad said.
It'd just be great to see someone in our community with,
The Hutchinson High School has submitted, you know,
Yes.
they,
oh, okay.
the industrial arts, you know,
Yeah, I think we've had a couple community
Yeah.
represented throughout the community over the years. of
over the
school.
years, yeah, this year not.
So there is one, yes, the Hutchinson welding class has put pieces in before. And actually, the one that was showcased in our 2024 sculpture stroll was purchased from them by Stearnswood. And they've actually donated it back to the city. And so once we find a location for it, that will be a permanent piece in the sculpture stroll. Not a rotating one like we currently have, but we're working through that with them right now. And then finding a location for a permanent pad. We're thinking Riverside, so it's close to Stearnswood. And then that'll open up a location that we can add for a new rotating piece. So we've had in the past, artists donate them or people buy them. And so Stearnswood actually purchased it from the school and is donating it to the city.
We've kind of talked about, by Park Elementary, maybe the high school, putting up a pad there. We've talked about it briefly about that's where the high school one would go each year, you know, so it's near one of the schools and,
I know our welding program is pretty active. They helped us with the Vietnam veteran
yeah, yep.
dedication there, so.
Yeah, we're working with them to have that kind of be a yearly thing, and it wouldn't be entered into the stroll per se, but we would always showcase the high schoolers' artwork, which would be a really cool thing.
That'd be great.
That's all I
Anything else
got.
for Lynn? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Moving on, resolution number 15980, a resolution authorizing execution of an amendment and restate development agreement with Hutchinson, the Landings LLC. Mr. Miles.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Council. Very quick, short, couple slides here to kind of give you background on this project. What we're talking about is the landing. That's under construction. It's getting more vertical every day. The developer of the project, when they first started, they started digging for footings and foundations and ran into a lot more bad soils than what they anticipated. So they have circled back to the city and they're asking they're asking for additional reimbursement from the TIF that we set up back in September to offset these additional costs. So that's why we're here tonight. Initially, they did their soil borings. They thought soil corrections would be about $332,000. City Council authorized a TIF district in September to help offset that cost. And then that was going to take place over the course of about 16 years. But when they started digging, they found a lot more than they bargained for, quite frankly. So here's an illustration. On the left is what they had thought they were going to be doing based on their soil borings, the depths that they thought they would have to remove and replace. On the right is what it actually turned out to be. And so I did circle just 3 examples to show you. So that top blue circle, you can see on the left, they were anticipating kind of in the middle there about 5.5 feet to go dig down. and then the reality turned out to be 8.7 feet. Middle one there, they thought 3.5 feet. Reality was 6.3 feet, so quite a bit more digging. Finally, the one on the bottom, they thought, well, 1.4 feet, turned out to be 4.6 feet. So a lot more unsuitable soils than what they anticipated. Here's some pictures just to kind of show you. They had to dig quite a hole. You can kind of see the scale there on that picture on the right. With the guy there, that gives you a sense of how deep that hole is. And then here again is some more pictures, and again the guy on the right, he's down in the hole there, so you know it's 8 feet deep or something in that area. So pretty substantial hole in the ground. So as I mentioned, they were projecting $332,000 for soil corrections. That would be reimbursed from the TIF district over the course of 16 years. The reality came in at $595,563. That's equal to about 21 and a half years of tax increment. So they're requesting the city okay the $263,563 of additional tax increment to offset this unexpected cost. And then here I would just point out, you know, it's not public tax dollars we're talking about. The developer's going to pay property taxes. It's kind of go into the bucket and then come back out again as tax increment that goes back to the developer. So really they're paying for their own thing here through the captured property taxes. So really what we're asking for tonight would be adoption of the resolution that would authorize the revised development agreement, make this okay. It has been reviewed. You know, we have attorneys look at it. We discussed it as city staff. We think it's a legit request and it makes sense. EDA finance team thought, yep, this makes sense, and EDA board thought, yeah, this is legitimate. So we're bringing it to you for your consideration. That's it. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
I would just note it is an eligible expense, obviously, and I would maybe even just reiterate to the council, this is probably no different than the same issues that we experienced when we built our police station. We did the soil borings just like they did, and when we got into it, realized the soils weren't as good as what we thought, and there were some additional expenses that came out of it. And so I would echo, I guess, what the EDA model said, it falls in line with what's an eligible reimbursement for TIF.
Does this include the capping the well?
Correct, yep.
Yeah, there was a well, and there was some other building material.
Miscellaneous debris they found. It's kind of a hodgepodge.
Motion to approve, 15980.
Second.
Motion by Pat, second by Tim to approve. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
So say nay. Motion carries. Thanks, Miles.
Okay, thank you very much.
Purchase of tactical robot for the Hutchinson Police Department. Evening, Chief.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I stand before you to ask for your approval for the police department to purchase a tactical robot to be used in high-risk situations as a part of our tactical team. It could also be used for other high-risk incidents outside the tactical team, but by far the majority of the time it would be used as a part of our tactical team. We've been working on this project probably for about 3 years in earnest, probably the last year quite extensively. Matt and I had a conversation middle of last year regarding drones, and we have decided not to go the drone route for the principal reason being McLeod County has a fleet of drones that they operate, and we, as you know, operate jointly with McLeod County on our tactical team. So we didn't want to duplicate equipment and services. We did not have a tactical robot at the time, and we felt that our money would be better spent there than in a drone program. Some of the capabilities of a robot would be to carry cameras, any kind of device into a dangerous area where we don't necessarily want our operators to travel. It has the ability to, can't think of the term, but it has arms on it that can manipulate devices, would be able to do a number of different things, open doors, deflate tires, any number of different tasks that we would want done in one of those situations. As you can see in the paperwork that I provided, the one we've chosen, we believe is the better of the two and is much less expensive than the quoted other drone. So again, I respectfully request your approval to purchase this, and I'm open for any questions you might have.
Now, no, the chief is correct. Him and I had a conversation about a year ago. It was after I sat in on I think it was a seminar, probably one of League of Minnesota Cities conferences, just about the idea of how do we protect our officers, mental health, wellness, and they talked about the use of more of this type of equipment, from drones to robots, to go in instead of sending in an officer to a dangerous situation, of sending more of this type of equipment in. It's not foolproof, and it's not, but I was just impressed to hear just how that's helped with security and kind of life-death situations and kind of overall wellness of a police department and its officers. And so, like I said, it was nice to hear that it was something they were already looking at, and this opportunity presented itself. So that's kind of a little bit more on the background of that as well.
Who would operate said robot?
Well, as part of the purchase,
like a training.
Yep. So as a part of the purchase price, they send out a trainer, train as many of our staff. We would have specific individuals. We haven't determined who that would be yet. We're still trying to gauge interest in who would want to do that. But we would probably train 3 to 4 of our officers that would be primary operators, but all of our staff would have a familiarity with the equipment. So if they needed to use it, at a moment's notice, they would be able to at least have enough familiarity to get it deployed.
Would you ever see I don't know how to phrase this. We have a fire department. Would we be able to mutual aid on that if the fire department requested? And I don't mean going into fires, because it's
and
an $80,000 piece of it. Yeah.
I think all the city departments do a pretty good job of coordinating with each other, so we're not duplicating equipment. I don't know. I would have a hard time thinking of a time where the fire department could use this piece of equipment, but certainly if they thought it would be a practical use and we could get it done, we certainly would do something like that.
Is this something that's like there's a specific trailer set aside for it, or?
No, it's actually a fairly, when you think of a robot, it's not C-3PO or something like that. It looks like a small remote controlled tracked vehicle, essentially, with a couple masts on it that you can attach equipment to, and then again some different actuators so it can move an arm or what have you. But
2 feet by 4 feet. I mean, what were you talking?
Yeah, I think its height is like 3 feet with the mast, and then it's probably about 2 feet long at the base.
Can it go up and down stairs?
It can, but again, that's not foolproof.
Yep.
But it can go up and down stairs. Like I said, it could essentially, if we had a barricaded subject and we needed to make entry for whatever reason, the robot could actually, if the door's unlocked, could open the door, enter, and scan the room before any operator ever got close to that doorway.
Well, between this and the park and rec robot for painting lines, we're getting all kinds of robots. So,
It is the 21st century, after all.
yeah, let's have a naming contest for him.
Couldn't the high school robotics team have done that?
It has a name.
All right, I'd make a motion to approve it.
I'll second.
Motion by Chad, second by Tim to approve. Any other discussion? Well, all I gotta say is you gotta hire a young cop to be able to
We're looking for gamers. All right, thank you very much.
All right, call a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. First reading of ordinance number 26-871, ordinance amending airport commission terms.
Mr. Mayor and Council, asking for your consideration. This is the first reading of two, and Melissa could probably correct me if I'm wrong. We have been 5-year before, have changed to 3, asking to go back to 5. We've got a good, stable, well-functioning airport commission, and so discussion recently has been, should we consider switching back to 5-year terms for the group? So bringing it for your consideration. Mayor sits on the airport commission, certainly has some history there, and could maybe add any other aspects.
Yeah, it was confusing. One place it said 5, one said 3, so we're just kind of cleaning it up. So,
I'd make a motion to approve.
Second.
motion by Chad, second by Pat to approve. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. First reading of ordinance number 26-871, ordinance amending chapter 116 of the Hutchinson Code related to the city lodging tax.
Mayor and Council, I know we've had a couple discussions on this over the last couple years, and in conversation with the Convention and Visitors Bureau, there was a desire to look to expand our current lodging tax. Since the original ordinance was adopted back in '89, and then I think it was probably re-upped in '04 when we recodified our book, the way that people stay has changed, and the use of short-term rentals has become more and more popular. And currently, our ordinance does not take that into effect, short-term rentals. So we're talking about VRBOs, Airbnbs, that type of a rental facility. And so a lot of cities in recent years, that when they've adopted a lodging tax, have just automatically included those types of facilities into the lodging tax. And so we're asking the council, like I said, with some consideration given from the Convention and Visitors Bureau, to look to update our code to include those types of properties. Our quick search, we've identified at least 6 properties in town that would qualify under that. It's not going to be a significant revenue source, but I think it kind of then just more or less makes an equal playing field for right now. All the hotels have to charge that, and so that would expand that to the short-term rentals. We also, so the ordinance kind of includes that definition, would include that in as being eligible for it. And then we include some state language regarding, so properties right now where people can stay for more than 30 days don't qualify for this lodging tax. But our ordinance really didn't address that. That's included in state law, but not in the ordinance. And so we wanted to ensure that we put that in there, and then that they need to provide some documentation on that. They're supposed to, state law actually talks about there's supposed to be leases, short-term leases involved with some of that. And so we want to make sure that that's taking place with the ordinance in pursuant to state law. And so we clarified that and stated that in the ordinance. And then we wanted to make sure, and the CVB does this right now. They do submit an annual report to us, but we just wanted to put that in the ordinance just to kind of codify that. So those are kind of the changes to it, and we'd ask the council to consider a first reading of this ordinance. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Are there any special, I mean, we've identified 6.
Yeah.
Hotels, places like that have to be inspected, fire inspected.
Yeah.
Is that part of the expense of this, or those inspected?
So right now, technically, anybody in the public is watching, if they don't know this, if you own a VRBO or an Airbnb in town right now, technically you are supposed to be registering with our rental program. So that's already on the books, and so a part of that is when you have a rental license is that we then go in and do those inspections for fire code and the whatnot. So that's already actually on the books.
So this would probably not cover the cost of those inspections, but it'll help with the cost.
They already pay a fee for those.
Oh, they do pay a fee.
Yeah, there's a
Okay.
rental fee that's paid for now. There could be some of these that we've identified who aren't, and that's part of the process we'll go through with our rental code to make sure that they have registered. But yeah, they pay a permit through the rental code that helps cover those costs for inspections and whatnot.
Okay, thank you.
Any other?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Pat, second by Tim to approve. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Will say nay. Motion carries. Adopting legislative priorities for 2026.
Mayor and council, this is something that we've done historically over the last couple of years. It just really serves as a good document that we pass on to our state legislatures about some of the city's priorities. We try not to restate kind of what the League of Minnesota City or the Coalition of Greater Minnesota Cities does. And a lot of it is just, I think it's a good document. It's an opportunity. You know, we've passed it on and we've gotten feedback from time to time from our legislators when we've passed this information on to them. I think it's just kind of us reiterating to them some of what we view as a city as priorities. Not a whole lot has changed. I guess there's two big things to note. One is that we took off the HATS facility, and some of that is we're just re-looking at how we're going to approach that. I think that's been turned down, 3 straight years, Mike, at the legislature, and so I think the group, the county, the state, and the city is going to kind of reevaluate and maybe redetermine whether or not what that need is. And so at this point, we just want to take it off because I think we're not ready to. It may be something gets added on in the future, or we may just be looking at a completely different project that we don't need to look to go to bonding. And then the one thing that we added that's been out there is just our support for the CAP training facility. I know a lot of times they kind of go on their own to try to get that funding, but we just want to reiterate the city. So, I mean, we've done that verbally, but we want to put to paper our support for that, for them trying to get funds to finish that training facility out off of Airport Road.
So Matt, the HATS thing, or Mike, is the state, like, are they, because that's benefited the city, county, and.
Yes.
I mean, it's like, it seems like that's been very beneficial in sharing the costs. Are they not feeling that way, or, I mean?
Mike, you want to come up and address, maybe share a little about what you guys are thinking?
It seems like we've invested a lot into it, I mean.
Yeah, and there have been some really good projects, and I think that is part of the complexity that comes with it then too, is the funding. The county and city kind of have one funding mechanism, but have to be kind of unified on, and then the state has their own, through MnDOT, their own funding. So to try to bring it all together is where it can get lost oftentimes. Bigger issue the last few years, we just haven't had bonding bill. So nothing in the state has advanced. So this project has just been sacrificed along with many others around the state because of the lack of a bonding bill. It hasn't been as much process or anything we did wrong. We had 2 very good legislative tours, had good support from local legislators, but no bonding bill hasn't resulted in any progress around the state. But to Matt's point, our hope is we've got a couple of projects we're going to use local funds on. So again, we've got a pooled source of funds that we're going to use for design and kind of our local contribution. We're going to pivot at this point and do a roof project, which again, we've got deferred maintenance on this. We've been kind of kicking the can down the road that we would have addressed with a capital project. We're going to address that this year in advance of the solar project, and so we'll get a new roof. And then similarly, we'll do that with the wash bay to make some improvements there with some aged equipment. And as you know, we've got a lot of equipment to maintain out there. So those 2 projects we'll do with these local funds. And then it's, well, what's left now to do? Because those are a couple major components. So there's likely a storage facility and possibly a fueling island, but the fueling island might get advanced in some way through MnDOT, and then we can pay them back over time. So the whole strategy's kind of changed as well as what the need may be after these couple of summer projects.
So the roofing and the wash bay will be funded by
local dollars that we have approved.
City, county, and state, right?
City, county, state, exactly. All 3 are contributed to this fund, equal proportions. Andy would be able to go down what the breakdown is, but roughly thirds in that regard. But that is what the fund that will be used. So instead of that being used to leverage a bonding bill, local contribution, we're going to use it now to address these needs before we have a catastrophic failure of a roof, et cetera. So we'll get those taken care of and then just kind of reevaluate what the scope needs to be. I suspect there will still be a storage need out there, but that's probably not $11 million, which is what we've been requesting to date. With the other things done, that might become a much more manageable project and a more successful request, is the hope.
And I'll reiterate, Mike's right. I mean, we haven't had a bonding bill now in a couple of years, and I know recently the governor had released his proposal for a bonding bill, and it's pretty stripped down, and there's not a whole lot of local projects in there, period. And so it doesn't look like anytime soon there's going to be any type of local investment. And so, and Pat, I guess to answer your question, a part of the funding that goes on, Mike, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the city, the county, and the state kind of put money aside each and every year when they're budgeting for these maintenance things. So that's where that money is coming to pay for those improvements. So,
correct. I should add, and related, CAP just today, I got a call from TKDA who had designed their Camp Craig, the hangar that they have out there, but they had 3.7 of 6.2 funded a few years ago. We'd been sitting on that, hoping again to get that bridge of $2.5 million. They've decided to go forth with 3.7, so they're going to scale back their project to build that training facility and look to advance that here this spring. So we'll likely be moving forward. There may be some council action. The city will. CAP will kind of run the project, but the city kind of carries the processing portion of it. So we'll likely be back with something here in the next month or so.
Thanks.
I make a motion to approve the priorities.
Second.
Motion by Chad, second by Pat to approve. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Will say nay. Motion carries. Creekside, Andy, you want some bags or what?
should come up with this.
Yeah, good evening, Council and Mayor. Yes, I think it would be a good idea for us to have some bag film to sell all the products we produce. So basically, I don't know if you had an opportunity to review the board action form, but it's essentially just a vendor defaulting. You had approved an action back in July of 25 to award the business to Salerno Packaging. They've shipped to date a little over half of the goods ordered, and here as of, well, probably the last month or so, they became more or less unresponsive. But then here just last Friday, they finally actually did respond saying, we don't have the bags to supply you. Well, it would have been nice to let us know that a couple months ago. But I worked with the number 2 vendor from last July, and they actually revised their pricing to make it a little more favorable for us. So looking to cancel the original PO and approve the $53,000 purchase to Direct Plastics to fulfill the remaining balance of the original PO.
So you'd be going back to the 2025, that was bid, or is that just?
It's a request for quote.
Request for a proposal.
Yep, it's under the public bid threshold, so it's just a request for quote.
Perfect, there we go. That's the question I was gonna ask.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Pat, second by, who was that, Tim? Tim? All right, any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carries.
Thank you.
We have Public Arts Commission minutes from October 8th, 2025. Chief Gipperson, you got anything else for us tonight?
Anything else tonight?
All right, Andy, anything else?
I don't know if any of you got an email through the MPCA that they released $10 million in grant funds to increase food waste capacity. And that could be anything from processing to initiating programs. So Creekside City, I don't think we're necessarily going to do this, but sounds like there's some rumors that the school is looking to do something. So stay tuned on that. As far as the $10 million, it sounds like it's $10 million of $200 million that'll be available here as time goes on. So I guess there could be some big things happening on the composting front moving forward.
All right. Mike, you got anything else? Are they out trimming trees and stuff, or?
They are, and they've been on Adams this week, that's probably the most visible, that's a lot more formative pruning they're still doing on that, so it's a little more regular than usually every 7 years, but they're just about done, they're down to 3M at this point, a little bit more to do, and then they'll kind of move back into the neighborhoods.
All right, sounds good. Kelly, you got anything else for us?
This past weekend, we had the city holiday party, which is something that the council authorizes as part of the plan. So we had our party at the bowling alley, and we had about 75 staff and guests come, and they had a lot of fun. So thank you for the invitation.
We were all sore the last couple days.
Right. I heard. So you're the one they had to put the bumpers up for.
Well, you know.
Not be knocking bumpers.
Yeah. Mark, you got anything for us?
Nothing tonight.
Matt?
I sent out an email earlier this week about trying to get together with the county board and looking at the end of March. I know that's kind of a wide time frame. I know Pat responded to me. I guess I would say if there's something that doesn't work for you, let me know. That's probably the easiest way to look at scheduling something. But yeah, we want to have a joint meeting with the county board, and something we haven't done. I think we did maybe 2 years ago. We want to do that again to talk about everything from transportation projects to trails to street projects.
Would that be at their facility or here?
We're going to do it at the recycling, not the recycling, but the hazardous waste. Yeah, the hazardous waste. Hazardous waste building. They have there's an office. There's a
office. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a board conference room there that we would have that at.
Would they be able to do that? Would you be able to do that prior to a council meeting in March?
We could probably look at. We can try to look to coordinate
go
something.
earlier. So.
Yeah, I can look to see if we can try to schedule something around a council meeting date, just so kind of have it all together at once. So, sure. And then I don't know if the mayor was going to note this, but we did have, I know I saw him yesterday, but Officer Sickman retired after 36 years of service with the police department. So he lives in my neighborhood. I have an opportunity to catch him yesterday, so I'll catch him some other time. I just want to make sure we thanked him for his service. So that's it for me.
All right. Dave, let's start with you.
Yeah, we had an RRTC meeting, which is a part of the MMDC, and there's a Inspired Parents, this local 501c3, and they have attained a vehicle, and they're pretty much local. But I wish I had a phone number for you, which I didn't gather up for the meeting. But Inspired Rides is what it's called. And like I say, they stay local. 25 miles radius probably covers McLeod County at the moment. So it is a handicap access van that they have, and they have a dedicated driver for that. So if you need to go somewhere and can't find a ride, I guess find Inspired Rides. It should help us out. So it's kind of a volunteer type thing. So it's something we're going to see, I think, more of in McLeod County down the road. Investigating that more and more along, but I think it's going to happen. They do well in Candido High County with that. I think they started last summer, and at this particular point, they're about 1,200 rides that they've had on that. So they use some Uber and some with Lyft, and some private. So it's looks like it's probably gonna get to be something that people can use on a quicker base of getting to something and back home quicker. So that's it.
Thanks, Dave. Yeah.
Just like to reiterate, as Lynn brought up, that Public Arts Commission, we need another member, and Justin's been at the head since Steve Cook was there, and he's going to be done. So just looking for some more bodies. It's kind of a fun committee, only meet quarterly, and our major thing is picking the sculpture scroll pieces this year. So if anybody's interested, reach out or contact me or Justin or whoever. You can call the city and they can direct them towards me.
And to that, Pat, you just come to city center and come up to the window, they can get you an
That's right.
interest form.
Interest form you can fill out.
Yep.
Pretty simple.
All right, thanks, Pat. Chad?
I didn't have anything extra.
Timmy?
The library board didn't meet, they didn't have a quorum, but I wanted to put it, the Chamber of Commerce did a nice calendar thing today I saw about all the things going on in Hutchinson. And I just looked at it and it's events or comedy nights or different things that are going in Hutch, and you notice there's quite a few of them. But I don't want to be remiss in leaving the library out because they have plenty of children's programs going on there, adult reading programs. They still have a lot of computer systems there and access. So just to give them a plug too, because we talk about what's there to do in Hutchinson when it's 30 below. Library's heated, plenty of things to do for kids there. So thank you.
Yep. So, yeah, like Matt said, I want to just thank Steve Sickman for his years of service on the police department. Chief Gifferson, did you, I missed the first part of it, did you get a new officer? Or,
No.
or it was, I know there was something that went on before I got there, so.
Yeah, we swore in 3 individuals yesterday. 2 of them were community service officers, and then 1 was an officer that backfilled a position that became vacant in 2024. So she came on in March of 2025, but we just hadn't had a meeting in order to swear in formally.
Okay.
But yeah.
Tom, do you want to plug out there for what we're in need of to right now? So.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, we have an open hiring process right now. We have 3 police officer openings at current time. So we will take all people that are interested. We're leaving it open until all the positions are filled. Normally, we have a beginning and an end date for when we take applications, but we're leaving those open until all positions are filled. So if there's an applicant or a potential candidate out there who's not post eligible at this time, but thinks they will be sometime in the summer or what have you, I would encourage them to apply as well. Yeah.
All right.
Thanks.
Chief. Yeah, I did have all my meetings now this year, you know, since we had that little split there. Had Hutchinson Housing Redevelopment Authority meeting. Just a little rundown. You know, the state's always behind a little bit, so this is for November. We had 15 new listings in Hutchinson for houses. We had 24 closings for the month of November in Hutchinson. One of the interesting things we got something from the state, and there were homeowner households is 72% of the households in Minnesota, and rented households are 28%. So I thought that was kind of interesting that there's quite a few rented houses. Did had resource allocation. Chad's on there with me. We just went over the projects that are coming up, Edmonton, and pavement improvements on Boulder Circle Street, Larson, Sherwood, Elks, Orchard, Bradford, and Randall. So that's going to be going on this summer. We had airport commission meeting. One thing there is that stood out, we have 2 open-sided hangars available. So if there's any pilots out there that want to get their plane parked out at the airport, come out and see us. So that's about it. I had the meeting, so otherwise.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Pat, second by Chad to adjourn. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thanks, everyone.